getting ready to transition if y'all are good.
Yep.
Alright, transitioning in 3, 2, 1.
All right, and we are back with Cosmic playing Shin Samurai Jazz. This is going to be an interesting run. I can't wait to see it, especially because I heard that we hit our target for Cosmic to talk like a gangster. So get ready for that. Cosmic, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. Good luck.
Okay, well, as you see here, fools, before we actually begin the run, you see, this game supposedly came out and supposedly is set in Edo, Japan, you see, and the whole point of the game is that we're chasing down different yokai to kill them, you see, but for some reason, the game dev said that he wanted everything to look like gangsters from the 1920s, even though this game is supposedly 1860 Japan. So this game is set in 1860 Japan, and everyone is dressed like 1920s gangsters. That's why I'm dressed like this. And that's why I'm talking like this, you see? So we're going to get ready to start here. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So this game really fits the horrible portion of this marathon. It's the way I describe this game, you see, is like Celeste, if it was bad, you see? You do have quite a few movement options like Celeste, but it's just bad. That's the best way to describe it. So, the point of this game is that we need to discover all the yokai that are in town and defeat them, and a bunch of zombie samurai also, you see? So, this game tries to be like a film noir, you see? And the way it makes you do that is that it doesn't open up doors until you talk to a bunch of different NPCs, you see? Now, what makes this game very difficult casually, you see, is that if you talk to the wrong NPC, the doors just slam shut. And you saw how many NPCs were on the first screen? Yeah, every single NPC in this game has unique dialogue, you see? So, if I speak to the wrong NPC, I have to start everything over. Meaning that this game has gotten terrible reviews on Steam, despite its high price of, I think, 99 cents, you see? Because nobody actually ever knows how to complete it, you see? Because you always talk to the wrong NPC and you just wind up making circles in place for hours. Whenever you actually know who you need to talk to and you just go through the game like that, it's actually a really short game, you see? With some interesting movement. So, now that I've talked to the right NPCs, I have gotten a key that allows me to go into a mansion, you see? And you see, by going into the mansion, we're going to find more yokai that are seriously dangerous. Yes, that's what we are doing. And, yeah. So, this room right here is actually quite difficult, you see, because there's actually a little skip, and we got the skip. That was actually a skip, you see, where I needed to jump around in the, to just completely skip a wall and get through pretty quickly. And we just hit these switches in the right order, we jump over these guys, and boom, bada bing, we are out of this room. So we're going through this random mansion to find some really dangerous yokai. And this mansion, well, it just looks, it's just the pits, can't you tell? I mean, just look at it, it's the pits. And we run around with a double jump and this air dash, kind of like Celeste, you know, but again, this game is like Celeste, but bad, because we have this sword attack that we're supposed to use, but this sword attack is pitiful. It is supposed to be a multi-hit, but the hitbox of the sword decreases with every consecutive swing. This was not an intended design choice, just the hitbox is phantom. So that means every time I hit an enemy, if I do not move forward just a tiny bit, if I don't move forward just a tiny bit, yeah, I don't actually do, the second hit will not connect. And if the second hit does not connect, then the enemy just hits me. So between every single hit, I just need to feather the D-pad slightly forward. And it's not annoying at all. I swear that it is not annoying at all, and it is very easy to get used to. And there's spikes everywhere, and that's basically the game. There's enemies, and there's spikes, and there's death planes in the bottoms of screens, and you see, that's what we need to get through. And behind this door, there's actually going to be, wow, such an amazing concept, a boss. This boss is very annoying because, yeah, I might die now. Yes, I died. So, as I said, you need to start moving forward after every hit. Every boss in this game has very long amounts of invincibility. We actually beat the boss, great. So we are now through stage 1. Yay! This game's actually put in Acts, so we're through Acts 1. Now, you see, we just got a report that there's a bunch of yokai in the theater, you see, but the dame at the ticket desk of the theater is like, I can't just let you into the theater for free, and we're like, but we need to get into the theater, and we're like, no, she won't let us do that. So instead of dealing with that conversation, we just need to go find the way to get into the theater for free. And how do we do that? Well, we talked to one guy who's sitting in one of the 8 apartments that you can go into this game, and that one guy says, well, you know what, I thinks that my brother has an extra ticket to the theater, but I think he left his keys in the corporate offices. So if you go to corporate offices and pick up his keys for him, and then find him, then unlock his apartment for him, then you know what? I think that he'll give you the tickets to the theater, you see. So that's what we're doing. We are going to the corporate office, and we're just getting this guy's keys. Bada bing, bada boom. Meh. So, this room is terrible, as is every room in this game. Oh! Eyes are dead! So, we've almost got the keys. Hydrate? Why would I say hydrate?
I mean, you saw the channel point redemption. If you got some water at your desk or whatever your choice is, take a sip. Stay hydrated.
It's gin. Not really. I lost my hat. Look, we got the keys to the one guy's apartment. So now we go into the guy's apartment and he's like, wow, thank you for getting my keys. And he allows us to just walk into the theater. Hey, go in the door. Ah. Let me in the door. Okay, so now we've got the keys, we're in the theater, and we just need to go around here. It's very difficult to actually ever tell, you know, how much health we have, because there's actually no health bar, and I think health restores over time. But I don't know, because there's no health bar. Because this is a well-designed game. So this room, thankfully, is just a bunch of spikes. So spikes are easy to deal with. Spikes don't move. There's no RNG. How long did I practice? Well, funny story about this game. You see, I didn't actually begin speedrunning this game. I began speedrunning another game that this same guy created. That is a much longer speedrun because I am a weird person. And I decided to start speedrunning this game too because of these similar mechanics.
Well, what was the other game that you started with?
It's called HiG21-Hbrk.
Never heard of it.
It
Sounds
is.
like an interesting game.
It's a game that sold very poorly on Steam, and the game designer said, I know how to make the game sell better. I'll add porn into it. I'm not joking. So, yeah. I speedrun the other version, the original version.
Twitch TOS. Now, do you mind if I cut in for just 1 second?
Please.
Alright, so I want to remind everybody, if you are enjoying this wonderful speedrun, make sure that you follow Cosmic on Twitch. And if you want to check out some really cool incentives that we have coming up, ! Donate. We'll go ahead and get you that link. And one that I am quite excited for, other than this wonderful incentive that we have, is the Scooby-Doo Who's Watching Who with touchscreen snowboarding controls. So definitely go check that out, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, this is the second boss here. These 4 names are all undead zombies or something. I don't know. I just hit them, and they fall like dominoes. Hello, cat. My cat is here. This is Act 2. So, Act 2, we need to get into the mall. The mall has yokai in it, but this is 1860 Japan. There's a mall here. I don't know why. So, to get into the mall, we need to, talk to this dame that says, here, I'll let you into the mall if you get me a hamburger from the restaurant Eat. So we go to the restaurant Eat. And the restaurant Eat says, we ran out of hamburgers. So we go to the restaurant named Food. Food gives us a hamburger. We go back to the restaurant Eat, and the restaurant Eat puts a sticker on the hamburger so that it looks like it actually came from the restaurant Eat. So we go back and we give the hamburger to the dame, and she's like, wow, thank you for getting me a hamburger from the restaurant Eat, even though it's actually a hamburger from the restaurant Food. Now we're in the mall. This game makes logical sense at all times, and if I would have talked to the wrong NPC in the wrong order during any of that sequence, I would have needed to have restarted that entire sequence. Because this is a well-designed video game. I should probably hydrate more.
Make sure, chat, you make sure that our runners are hydrating using our channel points. The pumpkin, 1,000 will let you keep our runners, nice and hydrated. Which Nick just said yes. Yes, you should. So you know what that means? If you have something on your desk to drink, take a sip. Stay hydrated.
I ran out of gin. Can I just break character for a second and say that I'm having way too much fun? Anyway.
You can, because I am laughing so hard over here, and this is fantastic.
Crud. So, I'm actually trying to do a pretty interesting speedrunning trick here. Because there's actually some very specific triggers to avoid, to not have any enemies spawn, and I kind of made sure to avoid the enemy spawn points. So in this mall, we just need to get to the exit of the mall, but we don't know where the exit actually is, so what I'm just doing is entering random stores until I find the keys to exit the mall. Such is the life of a samurai in Edo, Japan, who's dressed like a 1920s gangster. So we got through that exit. But it turns out there's a lot more stores in this mall, so we're going to go through more stores. The order of which stores are open and which are closed are random, but the pathways inside the stores are always the same. RNG, baby. So, fun fact for everybody here, I live in Ecuador. It's a tropical country. This trench coat is very hot.
Well, the most important thing is that all our runners are completely comfortable, so if you do need to take a moment to take off that coat, it's perfectly okay.
I need to be a hard-boiled detective. I'll hydrate in a bit. But I did run out of water. So we got another store key. So now we need to find which store is open next. It's generally up here. No, that store stayed closed this time. This store opened. Good. So we get through this store, and then we've only got another store to go through, and then after that we'll be able to get to the boss of Act 3, which is a giant wizard yokai. And here we go. We're almost to the wizard yokai. Sometimes whenever you hit spikes, you lose all your jumps. Sometimes you don't. This game's well designed. So we got the key to the exit. We can now find the wizard yokai that is hanging out in the mall in 1860s Japan. Just need to walk through all these guys first. This wizard is very annoying. Why? Because he can infinite you. I am serious about that. If one of these fireballs hit you, he continues firing them forever. If he does that, the fireballs hit you just perfectly so that you stay looped in that forever until you die. But we didn't. So now I need to get into this bar to find yokai in there. But we can't get into the bar because we don't have the password to get in. So the woman tells us, hey, at the department store, my boss knows the password into the bar. But he's not here. I think he's somewhere else. I think he left stuff at the corporate offices, but the corporate offices are locked. So we go to the skating rink and we find a guy that says, oh yeah, I can give you the keys to the corporate offices. So now we can go talk to the guy we need to at the bar who just happens to be in the corporate offices for whatever reason. And we can actually get into where we need to go. Whenever I can, I try to tank hits, but these enemies here are very annoying in their placement and can steal my jumps. So I only tanked a few hits. Now you see, if I can knock an enemy off the ledge, they just kind of fall off like that, you see. And that's really handy for me. So I hit the switch, which means that this door over here is now open, you see. And I lost all my jumps because of that one enemy. So now I need to redo this entire room. Stay away, enemy. Now I hit that switch so I can actually exit the room. But these flying enemies are just, they're being annoying, This room is annoying too. Now you see, if you take 3 hits from spikes, you do lose. So I do want to avoid spikes. Those guys are insta kills.
I do have a serious question though. So you did say that this is like Celeste but worse. Does that mean that spikes are a suggestion and you can jump off of them?
No. It's also worse because it tries to force as much combat as you as possible. And the combat's not good. Why? Well, as I mentioned earlier, your hitbox decreases with every progressive sword swing. So, that means that every single time I swing my sword at an enemy, I have to move closer, and that's just not handy. So now that I've talked to a bunch of people in a row again, now I can actually get into this mansion, you see. And this mansion has a tarantula yokai, and it's very bad. And we're kind of like, it needs to be destroyed. So, we're going to another hydrate.
Alright, chat, you see it. We have another hydrate. If you have something to drink on your desk, take a sip, stay hydrated.
Unfortunately, I do not anymore. I ran out.
That is perfectly okay. And then Splazer, thank you for redeeming another hydrate. If you have it, take a sip, stay hydrated.
This level here, you see, actually has quite a bit to do, you see. Now, there's a lot of enemies here that I actually need to deal with in a very particular manner, you see, and I want to try to avoid spawning them, but I accidentally jumped into their spawn zone, so they came in. So now I actually have to deal with them. I could have avoided that situation, but whatever. Hey, hit the switch. So hitting a switch in this game is also a very difficult thing to do, because movement in this game is just not well done. Hitting a switch and talking to people is either up or down on your D-pad. Doing those air dashes is double-clicking a direction. And as you can tell, I do want to dash a lot, because that is, you see, that is just quite a good movement option, you see. Okay. And you see, I am actually to this giant spider yokai. This boss is terrible, you see, because it can keep moving without any flinch damage, and my sword gets smaller every single swing, so it's actually very difficult to hit. You see? This is why nobody likes spiders, you see? And how does the boss hurt us? Well, it runs into us. Wait, the boss does not stop moving whenever we hit it. So you can hit it and just take a bunch of damage from the boss, you see? That's great game design, you see? Now, this part of the game, I want to get into the library, you see? Because there's this guy that's supposedly controlling all the yokai in the library, you see? And what I actually need to do, you see, to get into the library is open it up with a crowbar, you see? And find the key. Well, here's the crowbar. It just happens to be inside of this club, you see? And now, with this crowbar, I can open the door to the sewer, you see? Yes, I can just open up this manhole cover, you see? And what would you know? The keys to the library are in the sewers! Fiddlesticks. I missed the jump. And you see, we just need to keep moving, you see? And now we've got the keys to the library, you see? The library is conveniently named Book. And now we got the keys, and we just need to work our way around here. And to open this door, we need to find 3 books. We found one already. Okay. And now I just need another book over here. Yes, you see? Hey, don't you dare. I don't have much health left. You see, I got that book. Yes, okay. Now I put a book here, I put a book here. And I just need one last book. Yes, here we go. We are through with our books. Wow, I got a book. Now I got all 3 books, you see. Ow. So, while trying to move backwards, I accidentally double-clicked. So I did an air dash instead and just air dashed into spikes. Because if there's any good game design, instead of having a dedicated dash button, you should just have it as a movement on the directional pad that you would occasionally do on accident, you see?
¿Te demoras?
No, mi amor, no tanto.
¿Cuánto es no tanto?
Unos 10 minutos más.
Ya, porque quería salir antes de que sean las 7:30.
Okay. So, you see here, this boss is actually really difficult, you see? He's only attackable, you see, after he attacks. So I just need to stand here and parry him and hit him afterward. Yeah. On a serious note, again, I live in Ecuador. I would hope that I am able to speak Spanish. And I also am quite often, I work a lot for the Spanish restreams of GDQs. So I am a frequent commentator on those. Now, you see here, boys, I just need to, open up this switch, which opens up this switch, which opens up this switch. And what we found after all of that fun at the library was, hey, you know who's controlling the yokai? Our samurai masters. Yeah, they've actually been controlling the yokai the whole time because they wanted to kill us because they thought we were a bad student. So they just said, hey, let's send a bunch of yokai at him and tell him to go finish off the yokai. And he'll, do himself in, yes. And we won't actually have to sit there and tell him, you're a bad student, you see? So, after that, we gotta find our samurai bosses. And wow, here they are. They turn into yokai. Wow! I would have just taken a very sorry, you're a bad samurai card. So we took out one of the masters, you see? And this other one is just going to sit here in the corner, hopefully, you see? Come on! You see? He's annoying. You're a giant ape. Why are you the samurai master? Why were you my teacher? Answer me! Yeah, so we defeated him, and now, despite defeating our previous masters, the game's not actually over, you see, because the big bad yokai is still around, you see. So we got to, take him out, you see. I am dead, you see. But we are very close to the end of the game, you see. Hopefully, I'm still under estimate, you see? What's my actual time?
So, from what I see on screen, you're right around 30 minutes.
Well, wasn't the greatest run in the world, but, we'll get here, you see? Ow. So after this screen is the final boss, you see? I'm going to try the damage boost for some of these guys, you see? Now, I'm not going to damage boost. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, you see? Yes, okay, here we go. This is the final boss, you see? He's the big bad yokai. We almost got him stuck in an animation loop, you see? He's in an animation loop, you see? He warped out of the animation loop, you see? That is the end. 3, 2, 1, time, you see?
That's actually the end. That is legitimately the end. Thank goodness.
Well, GG. That was an awesome run.
And if my cat has returned here, just to mention to everybody, you know, you want to give it to the animals, let me try to get my cat Muffin on stream.
And remember, guys, in order to give to the animals, exclamation point donate will get you that Tiltify link, and exclamation point wish list will get you the Amazon link where you can actually send the shelter some of the items that they really need, such as medication and food.
Donate to the animals. Muffin says hello.
And you know what? We have to listen to Muffin.
Thank you all.
Alright, anything else you want to say before you head on out? Where can we find you?
Twitch.tv/CosmykTheDolfyn.
Awesome. Make sure everybody follows Cosmic. I know I have. Thank you once again for that awesome run. And we will be back momentarily with Saria doing Luigi's Mansion, and 8% no out of